So I just followed the young brother who said that basically we are women. I read a few comments. We've been here before with this parthogenesis, and women created all things. But endosymbiotically speaking, that's not how everything works. When you deal with non biological gender energy, that's not how this works. You have parents, the two are the one. You can't have one without the other. The one is within the other, and the other is within the other. There's a system in the order of operation, and there's order inside chaos. With the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at, to keep these things esoteric is to break spiritual cosmic law, because you'll never get to the first centerpiece, which is the number 7, which is the first beam of light that is expressed, that Ma'at gave birth to, which is what the sun sits in. The beam of light is the electric bolt. And then there's so many creation stories, but to remove us and to make us women and say that we are only here to protect them, such as the gyno or gynocratic societies, J.J. Pachofin, right, who studied Dr. Anti-Cheek Joe or Diop, and dealing with his cultural black unity of matriarchal and patriarchal societies. That book like $700-800 damn dollars. I can't even afford it. You feel what I'm saying? You only can get a glimpse in and shit. But like I said, dealing with these endosymbiotic relationships, mothers and daughters, cats, dogs, you know, we have a equal footing opportunity to keep the ecosystem in balance, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with our souls, with all our frequencies, our source energy, with our complete mind, with our inner consciousness and our outer consciousness that exists everywhere at once. But to say that we are all women, that's impossible. Now I'm completely tapped in with my feminine energy because I understand it completely. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to nurture children and comfort them and take care of them and help them and lead in that way. But to be a leader is just that. It doesn't matter whether it's the the role itself can be played by mass and the femme. That's why women were kings, pharaohs. Now, we understand what religion does and how religion removes the whole element of the feminine character, her morality. It suppresses, oppresses, hides her, destroys, and many other things. But the truth of the matter is, just as much as Ptah thought he created himself, he remembered he came from a woman. And just as much as a woman, where does she come from? It's an old video, Brother Shabazz, and he breaks down, well, when you're inside your mother, right, where were you before that? And then where was she before that? Inside the mind of man. And what is man? Man is mind. This is what is meant. The conditioning is the issue of us to think that you can have one without the other. When I think about my father and my mother in the sense of he and she, though we know that this is the highest frequency in the universe that created every frequency and whatever else in all things, our creator and creatress, themselves the one. When I think of them in a male and female aspect. I don't, or as a character, I don't think of them in just people. When I say God, or I don't have to say goddess, because I know that the one are two, but they are one, and they exist everywhere at once. To remove like the Nicene Council, I don't know if it was both or one of them, but the suppression and the rewriting and distorting and removing the female role in history of dealing with the Bible itself. We understand this. But remember, we're dealing with the solar and the lunar. You can't have one without the other, but the one, right, has always existed before everything that you see. This is why God says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. But where were you in the mind of God? It's not that women not, because we had warriors, but when we think of a warrior, we think of the male, the sword that goes forth, right? Because this is as above, so below, right? But they are the one. They won. You can separate them, and they still going to produce, because they are. I am what I am, and I am that I am, and I am before I am, or I in the arm, which is ampholos, right? The arm, then the phallus. You can't say we only come now. It's spiritual, but to like the three wise men were actually three wise women, but the word has to go forth. That's going to have to be masculine. That's everything in the universe that you can visibly see. That's just the spiritual side. That's the esoteric, just the 42 negative. If you don't confess, then you don't give birth to the light, which is the seventh, which is Christ consciousness, which is the centerpiece, because it comes after the balance of ma'at. Once you confess and define and make it exoteric, not be the priest, the father, and you go tell all your secrets to that person. They use it to string you up and take all your money and all that. Not that. It is your action to be the son of God. And when we say it, we think of just Christ. We don't of a male. We don't think of the women. We don't think of Het Heru at all. You can't have one without the other. Parthogenesis. I get it. I understand it. But do you see what they did? When I read the Essene scrolls of Gospels of Peace, if I think it's that one, right? Jesus always talked about his mother, how she clothed you. Your eyes are her eyes. Your feet are her feet. Your hands are her hands. That's another Christ, whether he existed or not. Now, I know that Christ. You can feel that energy. So to keep saying we or women were able to procreate from the bone marrow that holds semen, and that the sun, once it kisses her skin, penetrates the skin, and it goes deep enough that she can have child. Yeah. Or like the brother said, would have thought we were able to have children. We was never supposed to be in this state. Well, I beg to differ. It makes no sense. Everything that can be uttered in thought is, whether it's a lie or truth. We are the record keepers of it all. And these micro lies will destroy you and remove you off the earth, because it's a thought. And once you start to remove yourself out of thought, are you able to remove yourself from the very utterance and the mind of God that created you? I don't think so. So we have been conditioned to think wrong. I am her and she is me. We are one. Ashe.